Welcome to Fenway Park as we get ready for Game 1 of a 4-game series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, and welcome to Red Sox Baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays are in town for the first of 4, and they have played fantastic baseball. In fact, they've won 17 of their last 19 games coming in. The Red Sox are a game and a half better than them atop the American League East. But coming into this series, the Red Sox have enjoyed great success against the Rays in the season series. The Red Sox lead the season series 9-3. They've outscored them 51-38, and David Ortiz leads the Sox with a .303 average. Of course, Jacoby Ellsbury leads the team with 6 stolen bases and 12 runs scored in the season series, and Sox pitchers have a 3.05 earned run average against Tampa Bay. For the Rays, Joyce, Jennings, and Longoria all have 5 RBIs each as part of the season series. We welcome in Jerry Remy. And Jerry, tonight we'll see Brandon Workman on the mound. He was terrific last time out against Oakland.
He really was. His third appearance tonight. One was in relief, and of course a start last time against Oakland, and he was very good against the Oakland Athletics last time out. He threw a very good fastball, a curveball, and a changeup as we see him loosening up for tonight's game. The fact is that, he's not afraid. He went out there. He was not intimidated by the Oakland Athletics on that long road trip. He pitched very, very well. He did give up a home run late in the game, but still a very good outing for him. And, of course, he's got his work cut out for him tonight because Tampa Bay right now is swinging the bat better than they have in a few years.
They have been on fire, not only good pitching, but good hitting. We'll come back and talk about the Tampa Bay Rays as we get .19 games, and this team comes in red hot. We look at some of their numbers starting on June 22nd. That's really when they got it going. They're 20-5 since then and tied for first in that regard coming into tonight's action as far as record goes. A 2.27 earned run average and a 204 opponent batting average. That is first. They've also played good defense, a good pitching, good hitting, and great defense. Just 7 errors. That is third in the American League during that time. It has been a great run for the Tampa Bay Rays. With more on the Rays, here's Jenny Dell.
Well, Don, you saw all the numbers right there, and there's so many different factors contributing to the Rays' recent success. So for our Geico quote of the day, I spoke with third baseman Evan Longoria, and he gave us his take on what's made them so hot.
One of the biggest parts has been David coming back, being healthy and pitching well since he's come back, and he's such a big influence. He's just such a big part of our club and just the environment within the clubhouse that I think, the anticipation of him coming back and being healthy has played a huge role. And just, I think overall trusting in what we're trying to do as a team and having fun.
It's still early in the year, and as you said, this is going to be 4 hard-fought battles, but are you even looking at the standings at this point?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to. I mean, we put ourselves in such a good spot 100 games in that, this is the time of the year when you start realizing that every game is important, and especially within your division. And we're looking up at these guys, and they've been playing some of the best baseball of the season right now. And so it should be a fun 4 days. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think for these 4 days, at least we'll be happy to know that we don't have to do any scoreboard watching. We're playing the team that's ahead of us. So.
The Rays are 3-9 against the Red Sox so far this season, but Longoria said it's almost like a new-look team facing the Red Sox here tonight.
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. Well, Mike Napoli's incredible walk-off home run last night, one of 2 home runs for the Red Sox. They hope that momentum continues tonight in Game 1 of the series. We're back with the first pitch right after this. More. Salem 5 Bank and Pedroia's World. Digital Federal Credit Union Bank the DCU way. Infinity. Dunkin' Donuts. Kia of New England. And by Southwest Airlines. Well, we welcome you back to Fenway Park as the Red Sox and the Rays renew acquaintances here tonight at Fenway Park once again. And, of course, the Red Sox, as we showed you off the top, really have been dominant in the season series. 9 games to 3 so far in the season series. And now you got the 4 games head-to-head. Red Sox in the midst of a very tough stretch. And, of course, Tampa Bay right over their shoulder to begin this 4-game series. Just a game and a half back of the Red Sox. And this should be very entertaining baseball. And I guess, Jerry, you can make an argument that really the rivalry between the Red Sox and the Rays has been more heated over the last few years than the Yankees and Red Sox.
It certainly has been, and this is a great example right here. The Red Sox coming into this series, as you mentioned, Don, a game and a half ahead of Tampa Bay, who, Joe Maddon's ball club is playing just great baseball all the way around. Pitching, defense, hitting better than they probably hit in the last few years. And so, they have in some kind of role right now.
Red Sox take the field tonight. As they do, let's check out the Tampa Bay starting lineup tonight. Desmond Jennings leading it off in center field with Ben Zobrist at second base. Evan Longoria is at third base batting third. James Loney at first base in the cleanup spot with Luke Scott in the DH hole. With Kelly Johnson in left field batting sixth. Matt Joyce in right field. Jose Lobaton does the catching, bats eighth. And Yunel Escobar at shortstop bats ninth. Luke Scott riding a 13-game hitting streak coming into tonight's action. On the mound tonight for the Red Sox as we head down the pipe with F.W. Webb. We'll take a look at Brandon Workman's numbers. Third appearance, second start, no record of 5.40 earned run average. 9 strikeouts to only 1 walk, and of course flirted with a no-hitter in his last outing and first start in the major leagues. Tonight making his first start in the majors at Fenway Park.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you on Nesson by Southwest Airlines. They are 9th in the American League with 56 errors on the season. Brandon Snyder will be at third base. Jose Iglesias, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second. And Mike Napoli, last night's hero, the first baseman. Left to right, Johnny Gomes, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Shane Victorino. And Ryan Lavanway doing the catching for Workman.
Well, the umpiring crew tonight, Manny Gonzalez has the play calling the balls and strikes. Tony Randazzo at first base, Larry Van Over at second base, and the crew chief, Brian Gorman, is at third. Tonight's game is available in Spanish by pushing the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Comfortable conditions as we get it started here tonight. Just 72 degrees at Fenway Park. Wind in from center at 11 miles per hour, and forecast is mostly cloudy for the remainder of the night. Some overcast parts of Fenway Park here as we get it started, and lights are on as Brandon Workman ready to work here. And as I mentioned, a fantastic outing for him last time out. He ended up going 6 1/3, 2 hits and 2 runs, but he held the Rays hitless through his first 6 innings in his first major league start. And we'll get a good test tonight against a good Tampa Bay lineup. I guess that is the biggest difference for Tampa Bay. They've always been pitching. Their defense has always been good, but this offense has been very good all of a sudden for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, 4th in the league so far this year in runs scored.
First pitch of the ball game to Desmond Jennings is in there for strike 1, and we're underway. And Jennings, the leadoff man for the Rays, hitting at .268. 11 home runs and 39 runs batted in. On the outside corner, 0-2.
A couple of fastballs from Workman right out of the chute. Fastballs at about 93 miles an hour, and both away from Jennings.
Jennings not chasing that. He returned to the leadoff spot on July the 1st, and since then he's hit at .338. He'll foul it off to the right and hangs at 1-2.
Workman will feature a fastball, a cut fastball, curveball, and changeup. He's got one of those over-the-top curveballs, kind of a 12-6 type.
Jennings lines one into right field, just went with it, takes it into right. And Jennings aboard to begin things here in the top half of the first inning.
Very good 2-strike hitting there by Jennings. He struck out 77 times in the season, but not this time, as he gets the fastball away, reaches, covers the plate, and shoots the line drive up over the head of Napoli for the leadoff single. He's also got speed, 15 steals on the season, caught 7 times.
So Jennings aboard at first to begin the top of the first inning, and here is Ben Zobrist. Zobrist, who's played all over for the Rays over the last few years, settling in at second base. And he'll take a look at strike 1. Zobrist at .264, 7 homers and 49 runs batted in. An All-Star this season as selected by Jim Leland. Did not play in the All-Star game, but selected to his second All-Star game. And been selected in 2009 as well. Ball and a strike now to Ben Zobrist. He appeared in 96 games this year for Tampa Bay. 64th at second base, has played 22 times in right, 7 games at shortstop, and twice as a DH. Workman gets a sign to work with. Here's a 1-1. First to throw to first, and out there is Jennings. He got hung up and then tried to switch hands and elude the tag. Could not, and he's out.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to go to second base and then slipped as he was heading back to first base. There's the lean towards second. He dives and he just gets stuck. And the tag put on by Napoli. So he was going on that 1-1 count. There's no question about that. And a good time to try that pickoff at first base.
There's a grounder back up the middle and out of the reach of Iglesias into center field. Then Zobrist with a seeing eye single back up the middle. And highlights the pickoff of Jennings at first. It's the fourth pickoff for a Red Sox pitcher this season.
They can see the clean lean towards second base and then trying to get back. And, you know, we mention this a lot, but a lot of times early in the game when they wet the infield down, you just don't quite slide the same way you would maybe 2 innings from now because it's a little bit heavy. And that time he looks like he got stuck as he was heading back to first base.
And that is the first pickoff for a right-handed pitcher this season for the Red Sox. DeBrant, Lester, and Breslow have the other pickoffs. And, of course, all three lefties. Here's Longoria hitting at .278 on the year. Does have 20 home runs already with 55 runs batted in. That is in there for strike one. Had a fourth inning home run yesterday to pick up his 20th of the year. Hit that off the reigning Cy Young Award winner from the National League, R.A. Dickey. It was the 150th home run of his career. And in comparison to where he was last year this time, especially power-wise, a dramatic difference as he has been healthy. Makes the strike over the outside corner. It's 1-2.
That time it was the cut fastball from Workman, just picking up the outside corner to get ahead. 1-2 on Longoria. See the little cut right at the end of that pitch to pick up the outside corner.
Interesting stat about Longoria's home runs and where they go. Of the 20 home runs he has, 12 have been hit to center or to the opposite field. So used to seeing him pull him down the left field line, especially at Tropicana Field, but most of his home runs have either been to center or to right. Swing a foul that bounces off Lavarnway. Still 2-2.
The first changeup that Workman is thrown in the game tonight. It almost had Longoria, but he's able to foul tip the ball right off the glove of Lavarnway.
He's been walking a lot. He leads the Tampa Bay Rays in base on balls. 47 walks on the year. Downstairs for ball 3, full count.
See if they have Zobrist running at first base with Longoria at the plate on this 3-2 count with 1 out.
And it is chopped towards third base, deep third, but it is a foul ball. Picked there by Brandon Snyder. Yankees, of course, after the game last night, had to travel to Texas, where they begin their series tonight against the Rangers. 3-2 is set towards the gap in left center field. This will get down. It is cut off by Ellsbury. Heading for third is Zobrist. And it is first and third with 1 down here for the Rays.
Well, so far all the base hits have come on fastballs against Workman. Good job by Jacoby Ellsbury to quickly cover up that gap and keep the run from scoring. He gets the ball in a second base to keep the double play in order. But good, solid, hard contact so far against Workman by the Rays.
3 straight hits to begin his outing. If not for the pickoff of Desmond Jennings, there'd be nobody out. At first and third with the 1 out, and here comes James Loney. He joined the team yesterday after being placed on paternity leave on Friday. His wife Nadia welcomed their first child, son Jordan James, on Thursday night in Clearwater, Florida. Returned yesterday and took on the Toronto Blue Jays. It appeared in the first 96 games of the year for Tampa Bay before missing Friday and Saturday nights. At the end of May, he was leading the majors in batting average, hitting at .367. He's down to .314, but still a very good offensive season, something that he's not been known for as a member of the Dodgers or his brief stay here in Boston. Called a strike, 0-1.
Iglesias, the shortstop, playing Loney to pull. At shortstop, you see the position he's in there. Pedroia in that double play position at second base.
Loney rips this foul into the seats. Well, right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games. Visit Ace Ticket for great seats at the lowest prices, either for a game or for all this summer's hottest concerts. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. I think everybody's doing all right over there on a line drive back into the seats. The 0-2 pitch to James Loney, and that is outside, 1-2. Only at .367 in his last 22 games. That was what he was hitting at the end of May. That's for Zobrist at third, Longoria at first, 1 out. In the air to right, Victorino's got it lined up. Tagging at third is Zobrist. Here comes the throw. It'll be cut off, and the Rays strike first on top, 1-0. Sack line out for James Loney to right field as he picks up his 44th RBI. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay.
That's another ball hit very hard off Workman. That time Loney with the line drive to Victorino, and Shane too deep to be able to make a play at home plate. So Tampa Bay jumps out in front, 1-0.
Longoria remains at first base with 2 down, and here comes Luke Scott. The DH spot. Hitting at .274 in the year, 9 homers, and 38 runs batted in.
And he has been hot, a 13-game hitting streak for Luke Scott.
And a 2-run home run yesterday against Toronto. The go-ahead 2-run home run in the 6th inning yesterday against the Jays. Look at the numbers for him during the 13-game hitting streak. He's had 4 home runs in his last 10 games. Trying to hold up, but 1 around. Brian Gorman said he offered 1-1.
High fastball. Let's take a look from the side. Does he go? I'm not so sure. Don's positive that he did go.
I thought he would. His intent clearly was to swing. 1-1 is going to drop in there for strike 2. What is going on with his wig? The back of his hair there. What's the deal?
Who's that?
Luke Scott. He usually has got a mohawk or something going, but he's got some sort of tail going now. I don't know what's going on. There it is. It's a 1-2. And Scott will foul it off to the left. That's with Longoria at first. 2 down here in the first inning. Asbury a step or 2 towards right center for him to pull. Red Sox into the shift on the right side. Pedroia in short right. Upstairs for ball 2. He's hit 356 over his last 27 games. Raising that batting average from 207 to 274 during that time. Fouls off the 2-2. We'll do it again. Another foul. This one right behind the photographer's well, beyond the Red Sox dugout.
It's a couple of curveballs that have been thrown by Workman that have been pulled foul. One by James Loney, and this one by Luke Scott.
It's already 27 pitches for Brandon Workman here in the first inning. He's got 2 outs. Kelly Johnson waiting on deck for the Rays. Bouncing in for ball 3. Workman, one of 6 Boston pitchers to make his major league debut this season, along with Alex Wilson, Alan Webster, Stephen Wright, Jose De La Torre, and Drake Britton. Payoff pitch is down and in. Loses Scott. On the first base with a walk, and the Rays have 2 on with 2 down.
Well, you know, last time out, Don, we talked about nerves for Workman and whether he'd have nerves in his first major league start, and it didn't appear that he did in Oakland, but this is the first game at Fenway Park, and that's a little bit different too.
Ever find yourself guessing what you think is going to happen during every at-bat? Well, there's an app for that. MLB Pre-Play is the official prediction game of Major League Baseball. It's free to download on iOS and Android. Download now at NESN.com/preplay and play along during every Red Sox game. And 1 down, runners at first and second as Workman tries to find a groove here. And here's Kelly Johnson hitting at 256. 15 homers and 46 runs batted in. John Farrell was asked before the game about the biggest difference success-wise for the Rays this year, and one of the guys he pointed to is Kelly Johnson, who has been big for the Rays this year.
And those 15 home runs that he has hit so far for Tampa Bay.
Look at his productivity in the month of July. Workman at 31 first inning pitches, and he is not out of the first yet. Two and one. There's a pop-up into shallow left. Gomes will now move over, and he'll make the catch. Not all bad, as it turns out. He gets out of it, giving up just the 1 run. Red Sox are coming up. Yeah, the Red Sox starting lineup is brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off in center field with Shane Victorino, Ian Wright, Dustin Pedroia at second base, bats third. David Ortiz at DH with Mike Napoli, last night's hero, at first base. Johnny Gomes in left field, bats sixth. Ryan LaBarnway does the catching with Brandon Snyder at third base. And Jose Iglesias toting a .352 home batting average, bats ninth for the Red Sox. And plays at shortstop for Boston. On the mound tonight, well, the season he has had is his numbers. Matt Moore brought to you by Nissan. His 20th start of the year. He's 13-3 coming in. 3.44 earned run average. He's logged 107 and a third innings. 108 Ks along the way. And opponent's hitting at .213 against Matt Moore. And he has a 1-0 advantage into the bottom of the first inning. First pitch to Ellsbury is in there for strike one. 307, 4 homers, 34 runs batted in for Jacoby. He was 4 for 11 in the series against the Yankees. That includes a home run. He'll pop this up around the middle of the infield. And it's the shortstop, Yunel Escobar, to the outfield grass, who handles out number one.
The defense tonight for Tampa Bay, they played very well. Second in the league, only 38 errors on the season. Evan Longoria at third base, Yunel Escobar the shortstop, Ben Zobrist at second, and James Loney the first baseman. Left to right, Kelly Johnson, Desmond Jennings, and Matt Joyce, and Jose Lobaton doing the catching for Matt Moore.
One out for Shane Victorino. Battling the hamstring problems and kind of playing through it as he hits it .290, 4 homers, and 26 runs batted in. Just when you think he's going to keep him out of the lineup, perhaps, he goes and steals 2 bases like he did last night. His first multi-stolen base game since September of last year. He was a member of the Dodgers at the time. It's a fly ball to right field, and over is Matt Joyce. 2 down. They'll bring up Dustin Pedroia. Just 2 for 14 in the series against the Yankees. 310 average, 6 homers, 57 runs batted in. It's the second season for Matt Moore. Turned 24 on June 18th. Second full season in the majors. It's an even split home to road as far as starts go. This is his 20th start of the year, 10 at home, 10 on the road. And his 13 wins are tied for the major league lead with Max Scherzer, who's 13-1, Bartolo Colon 13-3, and Adam Wainwright, who is 13-5 on the year. Max Scherzer, incidentally, tonight will be shooting for his 14th win as well.
He's had plenty of run support this year from his ball club. They're averaging over 6 runs per game when he pitches. He's had 2 5-game winning streaks on the season. He's on a 5-gamer right now.
That is ball 3, all in about the same area. Jerry, earlier in the season when we saw the Rays, one of the issues for Moore, he had the great record, but he wasn't going deep into games at all.
A lot of pitches early in the ball game for him, but that has certainly changed.
That's a strike, and it's 3-1. Longest outing of the year for him was 8 innings. I was back on the 22nd of April, but since then, just 7 1/3. Foul back below us, full count. Five wins in a row at New York, home against Toronto, at Houston, home against Chicago, and then home against Minnesota. Payoff pitch. And Pedroia lifts it in the air to shallow right field. Matt Joyce in and over towards the line to make the catch. It ends the inning. 3 fly ball outs and a 1-2-3 first. the top of the second inning. Brandon Workman throwing 33 first inning pitches. Now Joyce leading it off here in the top of the second inning, bottom third of the Rays order. And Joyce will take ball one. He's got 14 home runs on the year, 33 runs driven in. He's struggled lately, though. Last 27 games, he's hitting at 175. And has had no home runs in his last 27 games.
And the Red Sox go into the shift against Matt Joyce.
Strike this time over the inside corner as Joyce looking back at Manny Gonzalez.
I imagine we'll see quite a bit of shifting in this series between the Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays.
Both managers like it. Inside for ball two, 2-2. Joyce has started 71 of 100 games so far, and 40 of them in right. He's got 26 in left. He's been a DH 5 times. And he strikes out. Good pitch running away at 93 miles an hour. First strikeout for Workman. As we check in with Jenny Dell.
Well, Don, the challenge of facing the Rays in his Fenway Park debut did not seem to faze Brandon Workman when he spoke to the media earlier. He said he's going to try and treat it like any other game and just go out there and do his job. And Jerry, you mentioned the thought of nerves coming into today's game. He said he did feel a little bit nervous in his season debut in Seattle, but felt very comfortable on the mound in Oakland and was really looking forward to making the debut here at Fenway Park tonight.
Well, you can certainly expect that, making your first appearance in the big leagues. And the more you make, obviously, the less nervous you become. I think everybody becomes nervous before a game, but it's not quite the same as your first game.
Jose Lobaton rolls one over foul down towards the tarp area. And it's 0-2. Good strikeout for Brandon Workman to begin this inning against Matt Joyce, and a good running fastball.
Yes, it was. Everything in that at bat, Don, was inside to Joyce, and then he went back outside with that fastball and just no chance.
The 0-2 is popped up left side as Iglesias will drift to the outfield lawn for the second out of the inning. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, invites you to join the walking club. Sign up today and get a cool wristband plus everything you need to start a walking program for better health. Find out more at bidmc.org. Escobar hitting at .251, 7 homers and 39 runs batted in. It's been good defensively. He's played 52 consecutive errorless games. As a strike over the outside corner. He's been battling a bit of a hamstring problem. Was a question mark for tonight's game. So was Will Myers, who is not in the lineup tonight for the Rays, but bothered by a wrist problem. So the Rays with a few injuries, but Escobar able to go tonight.
A little bit late today for Joe Madden putting out that lineup, checking on a couple of injured guys. See if there goes for tonight.
Escobar fights this off foul and is down 1-2. It's been the right hamstring that has been a problem for him. He's left a couple of games for precautionary reasons, but it has grabbed him on a few occasions. That's out of the number 9 spot, and this season when he has hit 9th, he has hit at .298. To right field, and a base hit as he takes it the other way. 4th hit of the night for Tampa Bay. But coming up tomorrow on Dennis and Callahan, DNC will break down Game 1 of this Red Sox-Rays series, as well go around the majors with Sports Illustrated's Tom Verducci. It all begins at 6 a.m. here at Nesson and 93.7 WEEI-FM.
Well, we've seen a couple of nice hits go to the opposite field here early in the ball game when Workman's been ahead in the count. Certainly Escobar on that last at bat, and Jennings in his first at bat of the night.
Here's Jennings again, and he'll take strike one. After the base hit was picked off at first base by Workman. He was about to try and steal on a 1-1 pitch in the first inning when he was picked off. Oh, 2. Workman ahead of another. See if he can put him away. Workman had 50 pitches through an inning and 2/3. Jennings will hit it on 2 hops down the third baseline. Snyder's throw is low. The dugout by Mike Napoli. Well, Napoli with a nice pick will lead it off. Actually, he'll bat second when we come back. Profit Children's Organization. Tonight we welcome the Autism Resource Center from West Boylston, Mass. to historic Fenway Park. Dunkin' Donuts committed to the community. Bottom of the second inning back at Fenway. Rays have a 1-0 advantage. And we'll see 4, 5, and 6 for the Red Sox. David Ortiz, Mike Napoli, and Johnny Gomes. Well, the strike over the inside corner. David was 5 for 12 in the series against New York. Had a couple doubles.
Interesting to watch the shift against Ortiz. On the first pitch, they had Longoria on the left side. Once it went to strike one, and Ortiz no longer a threat to maybe bunt one, they move him to the right side. And switch him with Escobar. Escobar back at the shortstop position. There's the first strike to Ortiz, and there goes the switch. Longoria, Escobar, switch positions.
2-1 little dribbler that is a fair ball. It is picked by Lobaton, and Ortiz is retired. Just about a foot in front of home plate for the first out of the inning. Mike Napoli with 2 home runs in last night's game, his 12th and 13th of the year. And it's just a mammoth blast up over everything, and then the game winner, the walk-off to straightaway center. Deals with Matt Moore, who has retired the first 4 that he has faced in the game. Napoli at .258, 13 homers, 62 runs batted in.
I'm glad Napoli hit that home run in that at bat, because I was heading to bed after that half inning. I had enough.
Either way,
I was going to bed, and there it goes, out of the ballpark.
An incredible 9 walk-off wins already this year. As Napoli takes another strike, down 0-2. And on the ground, 0-2 pitch sent into left center for a base hit. So Moore ends up getting a lot of the plate. They head 0-2, and there's the first hit of the night for the Red Sox, as we send it down to Jenny.
Well, Don, the 2 best teams in the American League are battling out here at Fenway Park for a 4-game series here at Fenway. So we'd like to ask the fans at home. It's our AT&T Twitter question of the night. We'd like to ask you, what excites you most about this series between the Sox and the Rays? Send us your tweets using the hashtag SoxRays, and we'll reveal the best ones later in the game.
We'll talk about it off the top. This rivalry has really been a little bit more of a rivalry between the Red Sox and Rays in the last couple of years than the Red Sox and Yankees. Rays and Red Sox have had their fair share of dust-ups. You got the former Ray standing in here, and Johnny Gomes with 1 out and 1 on, and Gomes swings the first pitch, pops it up, foul ground. Loney running out of room, and that'll be out of play.
Well, the Red Sox last year really didn't have a rivalry with anybody, did they?
Not really, no.
This year, a little bit different. New York coming to town over the weekend, and Red Sox putting them 7 games behind. And of course, Tampa Bay, we have already highlighted the role that they have been on, which has been just incredible.
As a result, they are just a game and a half back of the Red Sox to begin this important 4-game series. Gomes will pop it up foul, and he's down 0-2. Matt Moore setting a new Tampa Bay wins record prior to the All-Star break with 13, passing David Price's mark of 12 set in 2010. Again, has won his last 5 straight starts. And this with the 0-2 up and in, 1-2. His last start came 11 days ago against Minnesota when he earned the 4-3 win. Matched up against Mike Pelfrey going forward the Twins. He went 7 1/3. It's his 2nd longest start of the year. Started that game by retiring the first 11 men in order. Gomes may have gone. He did. He's rung out by the home plate umpire, Manny Gonzalez. That's the first strikeout for Moore. 2 down.
A Moore strikeout high in the season, 9. He's done that a number of times. That time he goes to the breaking ball down and in, and Johnny Gomes cannot control the head of the bat.
Two down for Ryan Lavarnway. .243 average, no homers, and 4 runs batted in. Tenth time that he has played, 8th start. So it's coming up. This is popped up foul ground. Loney over by the dugout, and it's on the roof, just out of his reach. Well, we head back to the West Coast again in August, and 2 lucky winners will have a chance to join us in either San Francisco or Los Angeles for the trip in the Nesson West Coast Road Trip Sweepstakes. Both trips include round-trip airfare from Boston and accommodations for 2 nights. Winners will also have a chance to meet us at the ballpark. Go to Nesson.com/road trip for your chance to win.
Yeah, and if you're going to meet us in L.A., you better make it on the first night, because we're not going to be there on the second and third.
No, we will not.
One game's on Fox and one's on ESPN.
We will be traveling. In their first strike, and it's 0-2. Two down. Napoli with his lead at first, held on by Loney. And it's in the dirt for ball 1, 1-2. Saltalamacchia doing the bulk of the catching. Long ball game last night, and a chance to have this first game off, at least to begin the game. Certainly available off the bench tonight. And he has logged a lot of time in behind the dish. Swing and a miss. Lavarnway's down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Moore. Rays have a 1-0 lead through 2. We're into the third inning back at Fenway, and Brandon Workman has had to throw 51 pitches through his first 2 innings tonight. He gets ready to deal with 2, 3, and 4 in the Rays order. Ben Zobrist, Evan Longoria, and James Loney. He's only given up the 1 run, but has had to work hard. There's strike 1 to Zobrist. Zobrist with a single, and he scored the game's only run in the first inning. Coming around on the sac line out to right field by James Loney. So a foul tip off Lavarnway.
Fastball so far has been very consistent, about 90, 91 miles an hour. The cutter at about 88.
Line towards left center, and that's going to get in for a base hit. Ellsbury over to pick it up. Wide turn at first, but Zobrist will retrace his steps to first base. He is 2 for 2 in the game. Well, tonight's Twisted but True Fact looks at the Milwaukee Brewers. Did you know the Brewers did not produce a single shutout in their first 66 games of the year? They've since gotten 7 in their last 30 games. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea is a refreshing hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea, be a little twisted. Lead runner on here for Tampa Bay in the 3rd inning. That takes us to Evan Longoria, who singled in the 1st inning. Now swings the first pitch and skies one to right center field. Victorino calling. And the wind pushes it back a little bit, but he makes the catch for the first out of the 3rd inning. So Longoria not waiting around. So he goes after the first pitch.
It's like a little bit of a sea breeze coming in tonight here at Fenway Park. The wind coming off the ocean and blowing straight in our face. A little bit different than what it's been like around here for the last week or so.
One out. Zobrist at first base, held on by Napoli, is James Loney. Swing and a miss. And a pitch up and away. It's RBI, the 44th of the year for Loney. It's been a perfect pickup for the Tampa Bay Rays as it has worked out. After the second stint for Carlos Pena, Rays were in need of a first baseman, and I don't think they anticipated the offense that they have got from Loney on a consistent basis, and here he is hitting in the cleanup spot for the Rays. There goes the runner at first. The pitch is outside for a ball, and the throw is going to be late. Stolen base for Ben Zobrist, who gets into scoring position with 1 down.
Zobrist picks up number 7 on the season. Not a real big lead, but a real good jump by Zobrist as he takes a peek back toward home plate. See Iglesias way out in front of the bag to make that catch on the throw from LeVon Way.
Loney to center field. Ellsbury over to left center, and he'll get there to make the catch. 2 down. No advance for Ben Zobrist. The fans don't miss out on the action here at Fenway as the Red Sox battle the Rays tomorrow night through Thursday. Tickets for these great matchups and other Sox games are available at redsox.com/tickets. You can also call 877-RED SOX 9 or visit the Fenway Park ticket office for information on all upcoming Sox games. 2 outs in the top of the 3rd, trying to work his way around a leadoff single and a stolen base. Here's Luke Scott, who walked in the 1st inning. Scott hitting at .396 with runners in scoring position. He's got one right here with Zobrist at second base and 2 down. That's going to miss for ball 2, and this will prompt a visit from Ryan LaVarnway. Workman has worked with LaVarnway in each of his 2 starts now in the major leagues. And that sort of makes sense. They worked together in Pawtucket prior.
And Pawtucket also in that first game, as you mentioned, Don, in Oakland against the Athletics. Very good offense there.
(2-0) to Luke Scott. Strike call. 2-1. Mentioned the 396. That is tops on the Rays. A pop up this time off third base. Snyder into foul ground, still coming in, will make the catch. So Workman works his way around that. 2.5 done, 1-0 Tampa Bay. Supporter of Volunteers. Go to Advil.com to find out about the Advil Relief and Action campaign. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Tampa Bay on top of Boston 1-0, out hitting the Red Sox 5-1 in the game. 8-9-1 coming up for the Red Sox here in the 3rd inning. Brandon Snyder, Jose Iglesias, and Jacoby Ellsbury to face Matt Moore. He's given up 1 hit through the first 2 innings. And faced 1 more than the minimum so far. Struck out Gomes and Lavarnway to end the 2nd inning. There is strike 1 to begin the 3rd. Snyder at 231. The home run, 6 runs batted in. And sharing time at third base with Brock Holt prior to the activation over the weekend of Stephen Drew and the return of Brock Holt to Pawtucket. And Snyder remains on the team and gets started third base. Stephen Drew the night off, at least to begin the game, and Iglesias slides from third to short. It's the 7th start tonight for Brandon Snyder at third base. High for ball 1. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Matt Moore.
And back-to-back strikeouts on the changeup. This is the changeup to Snyder this time, going down out of the strike zone. Snyder chases it The Pit Zone on Nesson is brought to you by Amica. Amica Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance.
One out for Jose Iglesias. 356 with a home run, 17 runs batted in. That's out of the number 9 spot. Iglesias has now started 49 of the last 53 games since his recall on May 24th. Quiet series against New York, 2 for 11. Called strike 1-1. In there again, and he's down 1-2. Iglesias didn't think so. Kobe Ellsbury, the top of the order, waiting on deck. 1 out in the inning. And a swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Lobaton for the moment. He fires down to first. Strikeout number 4. They've all come in a row here for Matt Moore. 2 down.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 have come on changeups. He got Lavanway on a changeup. He got Snyder on a changeup. And now he gets Iglesias on the changeup. And very similar. Bouncing the ball. It's a very difficult pitch to pick up. So 4 straight strikeouts, as you mentioned, on 3 of them on changeups.
2 down here in the 3rd inning for Jacoby Ellsbury. So multi-hit games in 5 of his last 8 games. Popped out to the shortstop, Yudel Escobar, in the 1st inning. It's safely in 74 of 91 games. It's the most games with a hit among leadoff men in 2013 in the majors. And a batting average at .307 to start the game tonight. Fly ball to left center field. Jennings coming from center. Here's Johnson, who steps in front of him to make the catch that ends the inning. Kenny Dowell will have a Fenway fan story when we come back to Fenway. They grabbed that run back in the first inning. There's Kelly Johnson to lead it off. 6, 7, and 8 inside the Rays order here in the fourth inning. Workman got Johnson a fly out to left in the first, and swings at the first pitch for strike one. One walk, one strikeout for Workman, who's given up one run. Sliced foul off to the left, 0-2. It appears Workman has settled in here in the second and third innings after a very rocky first inning. And a swing and a miss, a rising fastball that time to get Johnson. Second K for Workman. NES's coverage of Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank. You always put others first. Wouldn't it be nice if your bank did the same thing? With products that make life easier and a commitment to helping those in need, here you're first. Eastern Bank. One out in the fourth inning. And Matt Joyce struck out swinging in the second inning. This is second look at Brandon Workman.
Nice job by Workman on Johnson. He got ahead of him quickly. Then he climbed that ladder with the fastball, went up and out of the strike zone, and got the swing and miss.
It took him 33 pitches to get through the first inning, and really fortunate that he only given up the one run. And he has settled down here in the second, third, and has the first out of the fourth. And a strike. It's 1-2.
That's pretty nasty right there. Fastball down, away, outside corner. That's against a dead pull hitter right there. Certainly not a pitch that Joyce wants to go after.
He's after this, and it's a fly ball to right field, but right at Shane Victorino. 2 down. Send it down to Jenny Dell.
Well, I am lucky enough to be here with Allison Burke. She was one of the 25 walk heroes that was honored here at Fenway Park before the game. So, Allison, tell us about the Walk Hero program.
So the Jimmy Fund Boston Marathon Walk program, the heroes are a group of Jimmy Fund or Dana-Farber cancer patients, and they're made up of all ages, from pediatric patients all the way up. I think our oldest hero is 90 years old. And we're there to just inspire people to give, to walk, to donate. We each lead teams. My team is Team TJX. So, and we're just there to get people to help out with the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber and all the incredible work that they do.
Now, you were able to meet some of the families before in the ceremony that you'll be walking with on September 8th. What was it like meeting those families?
Oh, it was really awe-inspiring. To meet the families of the other patients was just, everyone was just so kind-hearted and wonderful and such warm spirits, and it was really uplifting. At one point, I even had like tears in my eyes because the people are just so amazing. And then to meet my team, TJX, they were wonderful too. It was interesting. One woman, I asked them, why are they walking? And one woman said she knew she had lost so many people to cancer, and that's why she was walking. And another woman said, because it just feels good. And I think that was just, it really just captured everything that this is about, because too many people are lost to cancer, and it just feels good to give back.
Now, fans at home, you can also give back if you go to jimmyfundwalk.org. You can sponsor a walker and help out for this amazing cause. Allison, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being our friend of the game. Fans, if you have a unique reason of why you're coming to Fenway Park, let us know why, and we'll get back to you later.
1-0 Rays on top. Eastern Bank. Put your family first, job first, even your team first. Is it a time someone put you first? Eastern Bank does just that with products like Eastern Free Checking. Here, you're first. Eastern Bank. It's a tight one tonight against Tampa Bay. Wouldn't expect anything else as the Rays come into town red hot. Red Sox playing great baseball and both battling here for the American League East top spot as Shane Victorino trying to get the Red Sox offense going here to begin the bottom of the fourth inning against Matt Moore, who's allowed a hit first time through the Red Sox order. That's been it. He struck out 4, has not walked anybody. It's Victorino, Pedroia, and Ortiz here in the fourth inning. Shane fly to right and his counterpart Matt Joyce in the first inning. Two and 0. Tampa Bay as a staff with a 3.81 earned run average. That is good for 5th in the American League. Their defense is second only behind Baltimore. Fielding percentage is pitch in there for strikes. They've had good pitching, good defense. And this year the offense has been very good. As Jerry mentioned earlier, 4th in the American League in runs. And I don't think anybody would have predicted that coming into the season. I think most thought that the Tampa Bay's offense may not be enough to compete with the rest of the American League East. That's not been the case. Escobar plays the high hop and throws out Victorino. Scoop, scoop, scoop for the home team with delicious Hood Red Sox ice cream. Catch your favorites in the freezer aisle today. Always good, always Hood. One down here in the fourth inning for Dustin Pedroia.
Now, Pedroia had me laughing this afternoon in the Red Sox clubhouse. I mean, he can be hilarious at times. And this afternoon, there was a gentleman that was in the clubhouse assisting the medical staff and never saw him before. So you know how Dustin is. You know, as soon as somebody comes in that he doesn't know who it is, he goes, "Who are you?" You know. So the gentleman explained who he was, and then of course he was very nice. And he went up, shook his hand, and he says, "Don't expect to see me ever in the trainer's room." He says, "I just go home after a game, I plug myself in, and I'm energized to go the next day." So you'll never see him in the trainer's room.
Well, he's amazing in that regard, and certainly not bashful at all. He has no problem walking up to people he doesn't know. 1-1 is a swing and a miss. This came unglued that time. 1-2.
Going after that high fastball that time, trying to make it a 1-1 game.
On the ground, and to his left is Longoria. Off balance throw in time. Nice play by Longoria. Good rangy play from the Rays third baseman. 2 down.
Yeah, in an awkward position to make the throw to first base also, as he has to go far to his left. He's fortunate he does get the high bounce, and then the off balance throw to first base. Loney with the catch, and 2 quick outs here in the inning.
Seven in a row retired by Rays starter Matt Moore. As you see Longoria moving into the shift on the right side. Only Escobar left on the left side. Ortiz fouls it off to the left, out of play. David hit a little nubber right in front of home plate in the second inning. Jose Lobaton grabbed it in fair ground and fired down to first to get him. To left field. Kelly Johnson will get there on the sinking liner shy of the track that ends the inning. Through 4, it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Boston Children's Hospital towards their $25,000 donation this season. Fifth inning with Tampa Bay on top 1-0, out hitting the Red Sox 5-1. 9-1-2 for the Rays. Yunel Escobar leading it off. Tried to hold up and did on ball one. Escobar singled to right field in the second inning. He's got one of the 5 Tampa Bay hits. Oakland falling behind 3-0. He's walked only one batter, and that was in the first inning. He walked Luke Scott. That's in there for strike one. 3-1. In that first outing, throwing 103 pitches at Oakland, and zips that outside for ball 4. Leadoff walk to the number 9 man. Safeco Insurance lets us take a look at the road ahead for the Red Sox and the starters for tomorrow's second game of the series. John Lester taking the mound against Roberto Hernandez. Lester 1-1 in 3 starts this season against the Rays, allowing 10 runs in 18 2/3 innings while striking out 13. Roberto Hernandez get the win on June 11th against Boston, going 7 innings, allowing 8 hits, 3 runs, walked 2, and recorded 7 strikeouts. Of course, Lester was scheduled to go over the weekend, but did not. The wear and tear of the first half giving him a little extra time, and he will make the start in game 2 of the series. There's a bunt bid down the first baseline, foul.
Like Jennings that time might have been bunting for a base hit and not sacrificing. It looked like he was trying to push that ball down toward the first base line. A lot of times when you see that back leg drop back on a right-handed hitter, that means they're bunting for a base hit. It's really not a spin around and kind of hold yourself there for a sacrifice.
Well, he bunts this down the first baseline hard, and think about letting it go was Napoli, but he will pick it up and tag the runner. Is advancing to second base is Escobar.
Well, maybe that's the way that he does sacrifice, like he was bunting for a base hit, because he does the exact same thing here. That's twice in a row. Gets the ball down that first base line and successfully gets Escobar to second base. Napoli applying the tag as Jennings just stops.
One out, Escobar into scoring position. And Zobrist has had a good night. He is 2 for 2. Singled and scored in the first. Singled, stole a base in the third inning. Workman bluffs off the backside. Very good news today, it appears, in that the word on Clay Buchholz is good. He goes down and gets kind of a reconfirmation, if you will, from Dr. James Andrews, and more of what the Red Sox really said the first time. We got the second opinion, and they appeared to concur.
Yeah, it has to make Clay feel good that, you know, he's now been to 2 specialists, and they both agree on what the diagnosis should be and is. And so that should clear his mind of any further problems that he may have or could have.
There's a ground ball towards shortstop. Iglesias rounds behind it. Off balance throw is not in time. Beating it out is Zobrist. And this will bring John Farrell out to argue.
Well, the best effort that Iglesias could make, and that's the most he could get on the throw to first base from that position. John Farrell thought for sure that Zobrist was out at first base. That's why he's out arguing. But you see where Iglesias is playing and how far he has to go is right and then come in and then make that off-balance throw. Zobrist has good speed and beats it at first base. Very, very close play. Now, from that angle, it looked like maybe the ball was in the glove of Mike Napoli. Very close.
Ruled a base hit. Tony Randazzo, the first base umpire tonight. So the first and third, and one out of the inning. Evan Longoria now has a chance to add to the Rays' lead, already on top 1-0. Longoria singled in the first. Flat out to right on the first pitch he saw in the third inning. That is strike one. Andrew, I guess the good news is that it's peace of mind for Clay Buchholz.
Yes.
Bad news is still a long way off.
Yeah, I still got the program of throwing on flat ground, increasing that distance, throwing off the mound, simulated games, rehab games. So there's still quite a process before he gets back on the mound.
Longoria will take a look at a ball down low, 1-1.
But I agree with you, Don. Just for peace of mind, knowing that I can't damage this thing anymore, I think is critical to Clay Buchholz.
Very similar to something that Josh Beckett did a few years ago, going down to get a second opinion and finding out he couldn't do more damage to it. For the first, and diving back is Zobrist.
Zobrist already has 1 steal in the game tonight, 7 total on the season.
Longoria, the swing and a miss. 1-2. Good look at that change there. It's 1-2. Only a .259 for Longoria with runners in scoring position, and some tough numbers lately. The guy they rely on heavily. And there's a 1-2 pitch. 2-2. James Loney on deck. 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning. Time called very late. Pitch was almost on its way.
Well, we've seen a lot of those recently where time has been called, and again, it's been so late. You see Farrell still yelling down at first base umpire Randazzo.
Longoria strikes out on a pitch up, foul tipped into Levanway's mitt for the second. That's a big strikeout for Workman.
And once again, by design, Longoria with 2 strikes, and he climbs the ladder to pick up the strikeout. Big swing and miss here by Longoria, right in the webbing of the glove of Ryan Levanway. The last whiff was brought to you by Head and Shoulders.
2 down, first and third. That's a huge out for Brandon Workman, and here is James Loney. A sac fly in the first inning, and then flied out to center field in the third. Picked up his 44th RBI of the year. Strike one. Workman, who threw 33 pitches in the first inning. About to throw his 91st of his outing. in the dirt, and nicely sliding to his right was Lavarnway.
Yeah, Ryan saves a run right there by making a nice play going to his right. It's a breaking ball, a curveball from Workman, and Lavarnway slides all the way over to actually catch that ball. Keep the men at first and third.
Loney lines it into right field for a base hit. From third comes Escobar, and the Rays take a 2-0 advantage. So a big 2-out RBI single for James Loney, which gives Tampa Bay a 2-0 lead.
And he does it on a changeup. Very good job of staying back by Loney on that pitch from Workman. He throws him the off-speed pitch, the changeup. The ball was down in the zone, but he's able to hook it in that hole between first and second. So a big 2-out base hit by Loney.
The Rays tonight now 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Runners at first and second, 2 down here for Luke Scott. Walked in the first inning, fouled out to the third baseman Brandon Snyder in the third. Chopped right side. Pedroia will play the hop and throws out Scott to end the inning. Rays get a run and take a 2-0 lead halfway through this one. Red Sox have work to do. Mike Napoli, Johnny Gomes, and Ryan Lavarnway here in the bottom of the fifth. Red Sox have been held to 1 hit tonight so far. Single by Napoli in the second inning. It is again his second look at Matt Moore tonight. Red Sox have been out hit tonight, 7-1, trailed 2-0. 50th pitch for Matt Moore. That's in there for a strike, 2-1. Well, the fastball, curveball, and a changeup, and has 4 strikeouts on the night. He's not walked anybody. That was a problem early on in the year when he was only pitching 5 innings in every outing. He was walking a large number of batters. And a lot of pitches early in outings. He walked 6 in his second start of the year. That was at Texas against the Rangers, and 6 against Toronto on June 25th. That was strike 2, full count.
Not the kind of pitch Napoli wants to swing at on a 3-1 count. He's looking for a ball middle in, and that time Moore paints the outside corner. Those power hitters 3-1. They're looking for something they can pull out of the ballpark.
Very close pitch, called ball 4, and down to first base goes Napoli. Well, Wendy's Now That's Better recognized the hero from last night's extra inning win, Mike Napoli. In his last 5 games, Napoli has gone 6 for 18 with a double, triple, and 2 home runs, including last night's walk-off in the 11th. In his prior 5 games, Napoli had gone just 3 for 19 with only 2 extra base hits. So a leadoff walk here in the 5th inning for Mike Napoli. And here's Johnny Gomes, a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. He went swinging. In there for strike 1. Sox have had only 1 base runner in this game. It's Mike Napoli, who singled in the 2nd and walks here in the 5th. Everybody else has been retired by Matt Moore. This is on the ground to short. It's slowly hit, but could be 2. Second for 1. It is 2. 6-4-3 on the twin killing. 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Napoli doing his best to get to second base to get Ben Zobrist, but not quite in time as the Rays were able to turn over the double play. Escobar going in that direction. The underhand flip. Napoli's there, but able to get the throw off is Zobrist and complete the double play.
So 2 down here in the 5th inning. That brings up Ryan Lavarnway. Struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Jose Lobaton catching Matt Moore tonight, and that is by design. Moore has had a 2.48 earned run average with Jose Lobaton behind the plate, compared to a 5.45 earned run average with Molina behind the plate. So it is Lobaton who does the catching for Moore. And another good outing here tonight. This combination working together. Varnway in an inside out swing, fouls it off down towards Canvas Alley. We'll stay with us and after the game for WB Mason Extra Innings Live. Hall of Famer Jim Rice joins Tom Cairn to break down the highlights, while Jenny will take us into the clubhouse for player reaction. WB Mason Extra Innings Live. Can't go wrong when you buy right. WB Mason. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Varnway waiting on a 1-2. Time called again late. First time Matt Moore has had to stop in the middle of his delivery. Well, Varnway grounds one up the middle, but Escobar is there. Sidearm toss in time. And the Red Sox are gone in the 5th. 2-0 Tampa Bay. But when it comes to hunger at the office, you don't have to wait in line. WB Mason has an all-star lineup of snacks that keep your break room stocked. Satisfy your cravings and buy right with WB Mason. 2-0 Tampa Bay on top of Boston, out hitting the Red Sox 7-1 as Kelly Johnson leads it off here for the Rays in the 6th inning. Johnson, Joyce, and Lobaton here in the inning. Well, the way this game started for Brandon Workman and having to work as hard as he did in the 1st inning, throwing 33 first inning pitches. Here he is in the 6th inning, still in the game.
94 pitches right now.
This ticket brings you the pitching line for Workman. 5+, 7 hits, 2 runs. He's walked 2, struck out 4. He's pitched 96. And it's inside for ball 2. Give up a run in the 1st inning and a sac fly by James Loney. Then a 2-out RBI single by Loney in the 5th. He supplied both Rays runs. His action behind Workman. Craig Breslow had started to warm, but it looks like he's going to sit down now. There's a ground ball right at Pedroia at second base. Johnson retired for the 1st out of the 6th inning. Send it down to Jenny Dell.
Well, Don, tonight's tough health plan healthy tip of the day comes from Jared Saltalamacchia, and one of the ways that he stays healthy every day.
I would say a lot of rest. Rest is key, and eat healthy. Eat a lot of non-fat foods, and take care of your body.
We've been getting a lot of great health tips from all these players, so I hope fans at home are paying attention to all of them. Don and Jerry, I know you guys are.
Absolutely.
I've made tremendous health changes in my life.
Right side, as to the right side of the infield is Snyder. He throws out. Joyce at first base with a shift on, and there are 2 outs in the inning, so 5-3 on the put out.
A couple of ground ball outs here for Workman, as he really needs him, that 100 pitch total right now for him, so probably for him working in his last inning.
There's action for the Red Sox. Jose De La Torre is up in the pen. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Jose Lobaton, the batter. Lobaton popped out to short in the 2nd. He struck out swinging in the 4th inning. Fly ball down the right field line. Victorino onto the dirt of the track to make the catch. Well, Workman is a 1-2-3-6. The Rays have a 2-0 lead. bring you Jeff Howe's top 3 storylines heading into Patriots training camp. Who will be playing hockey for Team USA in the 2014 Winter Olympics, and let you get to know some of the new Boston Celtics. It all comes your way with Adam Pellerin and Leah Hextall following our Sox coverage.
Well, Don, while I get a chance, I want to thank Patrick Foran of the Mass Art. He's a Mass Art student, and he made a portrait of me in pasta in celebration of Princess Pasta's 100th anniversary, and it's quite a thing.
It is quite a thing. I saw it. It was amazing. Yes. Did a great job.
There it is.
My only question was the original picture Jimmy Remy or Jerry Remy?
Who looks like Jimmy?
Looks a little bit more like Jimmy Remy.
But there's a lot of work put into that, and I don't know what to do with it. I really don't.
Hang it up in your living room, I think.
Bring it home with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know pasta better than I do, but there's all kind of pastas in there.
We tried to figure out how many there were in there. There are many different kinds. There's a fly ball out to deep center field off the bat of Brandon Snyder. Jennings back at the wall to make the catch. Just ran out of gas shy of the wall. And Snyder gives it a ride, but he's the first out here of the 6th inning.
Yeah, we mentioned, a slight breeze blowing in tonight, and that might have been the difference in that ball either going out of the ballpark or staying in the ballpark. And it stays in, where Desmond Jennings is able to make a play on it. On contact, it looked like it may have enough, but not quite. That right hand out to touch the wall, and the catch made by Jennings.
One out for Jose Iglesias. Struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. He takes strike 1. This has been a very impressive outing tonight by Matt Moore. Foul down the right field line, out of play. Eastern Mass Lexus Steelers bring you the pitching line for Moore. 5 1/3, just the 1 hit, a single back in the 2nd. 1 walk, that was to Napoli, who has the hit and the walk, and he has struck out 4. Matt Moore, a guy who broke onto the scene in the American League Division Series. His first major league start was a win against the Texas Rangers in Texas. There's a ground ball, broken bat to short. Escobar gets it there just in time to get Iglesias on a close bang play at first. 2 down.
Yeah, Escobar got a little lucky on that because when he booted it out of the glove, it just went right into his throwing hand. And that's what, as an infield, you hope happens. There's the bobble right into the throwing hand, and he's still able to make that throw to first base and get Iglesias.
Yeah, he's played 52 consecutive errorless games, matching a club record. It's held by Chris Gomez, the former Rays shortstop, back in 2002. They were known as the Devil Rays. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Jacoby Ellsbury gets his 3rd look tonight at Matt Moore. Ground ball right side. Zobrist to his left. Yeah, Matt Moore has got a 1-hitter through the first 6 innings. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay. the 7th inning. Pitching change for the Red Sox is called the bullpen. Is brought to you on Messin by New England Ford dealers. And the new pitcher Jose De La Torre, who had been warming up last inning, takes over for Brandon Workman and appears in his 5th game for the Red Sox. No record, a 7.71 earned run average, 9 strikeouts to 6 walks, and opponents sitting at 269 against De La Torre. Well, nice job really by Brandon Workman after the first inning. Really settled in.
Yeah, they hit the ball hard off from back in the first inning, giving up 3 straight hits and the sacrifice fly, but settled down nicely after that and did a very good job, very similar to the job he did against the Oakland Athletics.
Numbers very similar as well. 6 innings, 2 runs for Workman tonight.
I mean, you certainly take that kind of performance every time out, that's for sure.
So De La Torre taking over here in the 7th inning. Well, Escobar, the swing and a miss for strike 1. Escobar tonight has been on twice from his number 9 spot in the order. Single to right field in the 2nd inning, walked and scored in the 5th. 0-2. Slider that time from De La Torre.
Sinker in, slider away to quickly get ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the swing and a miss comes back with a fastball to get Escobar for strikeout for De La Torre and a good start.
I really thought he was going to go back to the slider even farther outside. Instead, he comes back with the sinker down and in. Well, that was actually the pitch previous to that. That was the breaking ball, the slider for a strike. Amica Insurance is the proud sponsor of the Amica Pitch Zone.
Strike over the outside corner to Desmond Jennings. Jennings singled in the 1st. He grounded out in the 2nd. And a sacrifice bunt in the 5th. Strike 2. Those were playing to grab a run in the 5th, and they did. As James Loney came up with a big 2-out RBI single. Tap foul. Will do it again. 1-2. De La Torre being called up on July the 19th. This marks his 4th stint for the Red Sox in 2013. Made his major league debut earlier this year back on May 12th against Toronto. There's a pop-up sending Snyder to the lip of the grass to make the catch. 2 down. MLB.TV celebrates 11 years with new low yearly prices. Watch out-of-market games live on over 350 supported mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. With 2 outs here in the 7th inning, Ben Zobrist, the batter. He is 3 for 3. That's a fly ball out to center field. Ellsbury tracking it. Will take him almost to the warning track out there. And it's a 1-2-3 7th inning for De La Torre. 2-0 Rays. McDonald's of Boston, Toyota's official site for deals, buyatoyota.com, and by Vermont Cows, making you the best dairy. Learn more at vermontdairy.com. Nice job by Jose De La Torre. He has a 1-2-3 7th inning. Red Sox pitching collectively retired the last 7 batters in a row. Shane Victorino, Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz coming up here. Red Sox trailing 2-0 as they come to bat at the bottom of the 7th inning. Victorino 0 for 2 in the game tonight. He's fly to right, grounded out to shortstop.
And a 1 hit for the Red Sox. A ground ball hit by Mike Napoli up the middle back in the 2nd inning.
That was just pitch number 66 for Matt Moore. He's done it economically. Fly ball to center field. Jennings. 1 down. 0 for 3 is Shane Victorino in tonight's game. It's a breakdown of pitches by inning for Moore. He struck out 2 in that 2nd inning, where he threw 15, the most he's thrown in any inning in the game tonight. It was an issue earlier, not an issue now. He has been very good tonight. 1 out in the 7th inning, and here's Dustin Pedroia 0 for 2. Fly to right and grounded out to 3rd base. It's a strike, 1-1. 94 on the fastball. Still throwing hard is Matt Moore here in the 7th. On the ground to 3rd base again. Longoria charges and throws to get Pedroia for the 2nd out of the 7th inning. Well, it's time now for a Toyota game break. Here's Tom Caron. Tom, thanks very much. Yeah, it's a tough travel plan right there. We have done it a few times to Texas, but that's an early.
Well, that had to be a sunrise arrival, right?
Yeah, had to be.
Without question. USA Today right outside your door before you go in your room.
Nothing like it. Getting that paper.
And you want to read it, too. And you want to read it.
Well, David Ortiz have been 5 for 10 against Matt Moore coming into tonight's game. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. There's a pop-up foul off 3rd that'll get back into the seats. So the game ends at 1. Wheels up at what, 3?
Say 3. So that's 2 in Texas, right? You got a good 3.5-hour flight. That's 5:30. So you figure 6:30 to the hotel.
You wait for your bag, or do you go to bed?
I wouldn't wait for my bag, I don't think. Oh, at that stage, what would it matter, I guess?
Swing and a miss, and Ortiz down 0-2.
Curveball that stayed inside to David Ortiz that time, but still no contact. Doing a great job mixing up his pitches is Matt Moore.
This is as good a performance we've seen against the Red Sox this season. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Rays, has to be pleased. Again, Moore's been coming in on a roll. He's won his last 5 straight. The Rays as a team coming in on a roll. 2-2. Bouncing in for ball 3. The frustration for more that time. Full count. There have not been many of these.
Yeah, wanted to get him on a changeup that time. Shook off a breaking ball, went to the changeup, and ended up bouncing it.
Ortiz through the shift into right field. Matt Choice over to play. Big Poppy will take a wide turn at first, but retraces steps to the bag. Just the second Boston hit of the night and the first since the second inning.
He missed with that changeup on the 2-2. Ran it 3-2. Ortiz sitting on the fastball in the 3-2 count. He gets it out over the plate and beats the shift with the hard ground ball by the first baseman Loney. And to the left is Oberst.
So a 2-out base runner for Boston gives Mike Napoli a chance. Napoli has been the only blemish on the night for Matt Moore. He has reached twice in this game. A single in the second, a walk in the 5th inning.
Over shift on the left side against Napoli, like they've been pretty much all night long against him.
In there for strike 2, and it's quickly 0-2. Moore has pitched so well, but not a great deal of run support here tonight for him. Rays have scratched out 2 runs against the combination of Brandon Workman and Jose De La Torre. Napoli pops it up foul out of play. I'll remind you to get set for every Red Sox game on NESN with Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. NESN's pregame coverage of the Sox begins an hour before every game. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union, banking the DCU way. 2 outs in the 7th inning. David Ortiz at first. Red Sox trail by 2 runs. Napoli on a check swing. Did he go? No. Ball gets away, and Ortiz will take second base.
A 2-0 ball game. That becomes very big. Get a man in scoring position. Tried to snap off the curveball. It's going to get away from Lobaton, the catcher, and Ortiz is able to pick that ball up right away because it headed toward the Red Sox side of home plate.
So a wild pitch charged to Matt Moore gets Ortiz to second with 2 down. First they had to check on the swing, and Tony Randazzo said he did not offer. Napoli fouls off another. Fastball at 94 miles an hour again. It's been a 16-pitch inning. The most pitches in an inning thrown tonight by Matt Moore. Napoli, it's a fly ball to right field. That Choice is under it. And that'll wrap up the 7th inning. 2-0 Rays. Half of the 8th inning back at Fenway Park. Delatorre back to the mound here for the Red Sox, and it'll be Evan Longoria that he will face first at a 1-2-3 7th inning. A strikeout, 2 pop outs. Swinging a foul tip for strike 1. Red Sox pitching has retired the last 7 Rays in a row. Brandon Workman, the starter and the pitcher of record on the losing side right now. A 6-inning effort tonight, giving up 2 runs as Delatorre jumps ahead here 0-2.
First changeup of the night featured by Delatorre, and a good one. Got Longoria to chase, so he's thrown in the sinking fastball and the changeup so far in this at bat.
Longoria's faced Delatorre twice before and has struck out both times against him, and he's down 1-2 here in his 3rd plate appearance against Delatorre. And he'll strike out again. That's over the outside corner. Longoria has questions for Manny Gonzalez. 2nd strikeout for Delatorre.
A little tail on that fastball by Delatorre, again picking up the outside corner. So after the breaking ball away, he goes back to the fastball to the corner. Amica Insurance is the proud sponsor of the Amica Pit Zone.
One down here in the 8th inning. James Loney, the batter, has had a good night tonight for Tampa Bay. He's driven in both their runs. And a sac fly in the 1st, an RBI single with 2 outs in the 5th inning. RBIs 44 and 45 for the Rays first baseman. Luke Scott waiting on deck. Right side at Pedroia, has to back up on it. Throws to first for the 2nd out of the inning. Send it down to Jenny.
Well, Don, we asked fans at home what excites them the most about this showdown between the top 2 teams in the AL. And here are some of the best tweets brought to you by AT&T. Jones says the defensive aggression and the power of the bats, it's a great game. I think this series could predict the tone for the remainder of the season. And Boston says with the battle for first, it makes it feel like October baseball in mid-July. I completely agree. Don?
Jay, thanks very much. Quite a homestand for the Red Sox. First 3 with New York. They were able to take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Now you get the Rays for 4. And then 3 on the road against Baltimore. And this tight-knit American League East. Orioles starting tonight with a 3.5 game deficit behind the Red Sox in the AL East. And Baltimore has a 4-0 lead in the 3rd inning against Kansas City tonight. Did he go? They'll check. No, he did not, says Brian Gorman. Luke Scott's ahead 2-0. Swing and a miss at the 2-0. No fastball from Delatorre there in the fastball count. Outside for ball 3. Three-one pitch on the ground, softly hit. Napoli covers. Delatorre's got to cover first, and he does. Gets the foot down in time. It's a 1-2-3, top of the 8th. Delatorre's retired 6 in a row. your Boston area Nissan dealers, Subaru of New England, and by Sullivan Tire and Auto Centers. The last half of the 8th inning back in Boston with Tampa Bay on top 2-0. Out hitting the Red Sox 7-2 on what has been a very comfortable night here at Fenway. The game summary is brought to you by Xfinity from Comcast. And Matt Moore, who has been terrific tonight, he's given up 2 hits and a walk. That's been it. And Zobrist 3 for 4. Loney has driven in the 2 runs in the game. Brandon Workman, 6 innings, giving up 2 runs. And Mike Napoli has been on twice against Moore. Red Sox held to 2 hits. Napoli's got 1. Ortiz has the other. 6, 7, and 8 here for the Sox in the bottom of the 8th. Gomes, Lavarnway, and Snyder are scheduled. This will be pitch number 83 of the night for Moore. And to expend the most energy he has in any inning in the 7th inning. Challenge time at 94 that time, ended up being down the middle.
Yeah, still very, very good velocity from Moore at 94, as you mentioned, Don. Threw it right by Johnny Gomes.
Fouls it back. That even had a little more on it. 95. There's been no action, nor has there needed to be, in the Rays bullpen in the game. He's been very much in command all night. Gomes will pop it up. Back at first, Loney and Zobrist. It's Loney in foul ground who makes the catch. We'll see tomorrow's Stars play at Futures at Fenway, presented by Xfinity on Saturday when the Portland Sea Dogs take on the Harrisburg Senators. This family-friendly event also features Dog Day at Fenway and a performance by the Kids Bot Kids, Billboard's #1 Kids Artist of the Year. Tickets start at $5 and can be purchased at redsox.com/futures or by calling 877-RED-SOX-9. One out in the 8th inning for Ryan Lavarnway, who is 0 for 2. Barnway struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to shortstop in the 5th. Brandon Snyder waiting on deck. Matt Moore's career high in innings pitched is 8 innings. He did it once this year and once last year. This is only his 2nd season in the majors. 1-2. I remember asking Joe Madden before his first game in the major leagues, he's going to be in the postseason against Texas, about him, and he said, we think this guy can handle it. Most times you wouldn't have a rookie do that. And boy, they were right. It was a fly ball into shallow right field. Matt Joyce is in and under. There are 2 outs here in the 8th. They're coming up tomorrow on the Dennis and Callahan Show. DNC will break down Game 1 of this Red Sox Rays series, as well as go around the majors with Sports Illustrated's Tom Verducci. It all begins at 6 a.m. here on NESN and 93.7 WEEI FM. 2 outs in the 8th for Brandon Snyder. They struck out swinging in the 3rd inning, flied out to the warning track in center field in the 6th inning. Most pitches in a game thrown by Matt Moore this season is 120. It was in a 6-inning effort back when he was having trouble giving up, throwing a lot of pitches early in games and giving up a lot of walks. Two and one.
2 balls, no strikes, and he can't even get a pitch down the middle of the plate. This hits the outside corner on the 2-0 count.
Snyder off balance with that swing. 2-2. What a change.
Yeah, that's been a good pitch for him in this ball game tonight, especially in the earlier part of the ball game where he had in the second and third inning 4 straight strikeouts. 3 of them were changeups.
I'm trying to think of another outing this year as impressive from an opposing pitcher that has stymied the Red Sox like Matt Moore has to this point.
There may have been one, but this is right up top of the list to this point.
2-2. Back at him. Moore's got it easily. He'll fire to first, and that'll wrap up the 8th. Going to the 9th, Red Sox have 2 hits and trail 2-0. Johnson will lead it off here for Tampa Bay. Jose De La Torre back on the mound again for the Red Sox, and why not? He's done a great job. He's retired the first 6 batters he has faced. 22 pitches. And the Red Sox pitching between Workman and De La Torre has now retired 10 Tampa Bay Rays in a row. Johnson will take ball 2, 2-1. He was flied out to left, struck out swinging, and grounded out to second base. Good on that. Fastball running away. 2-2. Foul tipped held onto by Ryan Lavarnway. Third strikeout for Jose De La Torre.
Yeah, continues to show that very good fastball with movement on it, moving away from Kelly Johnson here off the outside part of the plate. Everything in that bat with the exception of one pitch away from Johnson.
One out for Matt Joyce. 0 for 3 in the game tonight. Red Sox will be expecting Iglesias, Ellsbury, and Victorino. Anybody gets on, Pedroia will have a chance in the bottom of the 9th inning. And at the very least, dealing with a 2-run deficit. Fouled back, and it's 2-2. Well, Bob's Discount Furniture is going to bat for the Jimmy Fund once again. Bob will donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon for every game saved this season. For quality, choice, and value, nobody beats Bob. Visit mybobs.com to learn more. Pitch inside, straightens up Joyce, and it's a full count. Broken bat flare that'll end up in right center as it drops in for a base hit. 1-out single for Matt Joyce. Breaks his bat but gets his first hit of the night.
And the first hit that the Rays have had since back in the 5th inning, when James Loney drove in a run. That bat shot it all over the place, but the soft line drive finds some green out there in the outfield for the base hit.
That breaks up a string of 11 in a row retired by Red Sox pitching. 1 out in the 9th with 1 on, and here's Jose Lobaton. He has popped out, struck out, and flied out. Runner goes as Lobaton takes a pitch low, and it is dropped by Lavarnway. Stolen base standing for Matt Joyce.
Joyce picks up his 7th of the season. He's only been caught 1 time. Takes a peek back, almost like it might have been a hit and run, and it could have been. You know, a lot of times on a hit and run, if you're a hitter, the only time you don't swing is if the ball bounces in the dirt. You let it go because it's going to be a very difficult play for the catcher to throw the man out at second base.
Outside, all of a sudden, Jose De La Torre, who is really dealing, retiring 7 batters in a row, gives up a base hit, and now is falling behind 3-0 to Jose Lobaton.
Now Lobaton may have the green light to 3-0. You got the right-hander Escobar on deck. Very tight ball game. It's quite possible on this 3-0 count that he could have the green light.
This is post-game coverage of the Sox begins right after the game with WB Mason Extra Innings Live. Hall of Famer Jim Rice joins Tom Karen to break down the game. Jenny brings you reaction from the players. WB Mason Extra Innings Live. Can't go wrong when you buy right. WB Mason. See if he swings with the 3-0. And he does. You were on it, your head's fouled back.
Kind of all adds up, doesn't it? A 2-run ball game. Left-hander up, right-hander on deck. You know you're going to get a fastball. Problem was the fastball was away right toward the end of the bat of Lobaton.
Lobaton now, Escobar next. Rays batting in the top of the 9th. Fouled straight back, full count. Nobody warming in the Rays pen. Looks like Moore will be going for the complete game as he's thrown 96 pitches through the first 8 innings. It was unlikely that Fernando Rodney was available for tonight's games. He's worked the last couple of days, had to throw 35 pitches yesterday, so he was likely not available tonight for Joe Madden. So it's going to work out well for the Rays to have their starter attempt a complete game tonight. And by the way, Rodney's back to being Rodney again as he has pitched very well for Joe Madden as the closer.
Last time we saw Tampa Bay, he was having his struggles at that point of the season. Not any longer.
Payoff pitch to Lobaton. That will miss for ball 4, and a 1-out walk to Lobaton. 2 on, 1 out, and Miguel Escobar coming up. Escobar's been on twice, a single and a walk. He has scored a run as he takes a pitch up and in.
Something must have been going on between Escobar and the folks behind third base while he was on deck, because they've been doing a lot of booing since he got in the box and a lot of cheering since he was brushed back.
Guessing it had to do with that foul ball that came back in his direction that he either flipped to a fan or didn't. And a miss for ball 2, 2-0. His leg, and it's 2-1. One pitch to Escobar, and a pop-up foul, back it out of play. Evens at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Yunel Escobar. 1 out and 2 on. Foul over by the Rays dugout. Covidien, delivering innovative healthcare products across the globe, is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation. Two balls, 2 strikes to Escobar. In the dirt outside, full count. John Farrell hopeful that Delatorre can keep this a 2-run game right now as the Rays try to add on, giving them some space. Desmond Jennings waits on deck. Time call. Outside. And that is ball 4. Back-to-back walks allowed by Delatorre. And the bases are now loaded for the Tampa Bay Rays with 1 out. After dealing, he has come apart here pretty quickly.
Well, the Red Sox, remember, they had to use a lot of guys out of the bullpen, especially that ball game last night. And trying to get as much out of Delatorre as they possibly can.
Breslow is up earlier. He is going to get back up again. They're going to buy some time as Juan Nieves headed to the mound here. Now, no home runs have been hit tonight by the Red Sox, keeping their season total at 103, with Hess and Hess Express donating $500 to the Red Sox Foundation for every Red Sox home run. Donation stands at $51,500. Our thanks to Hess and Hess Express, committed to helping the cause. 1 out in the 9th. Bases filled with Tampa Bay Rays, and Desmond Jennings coming up. 1 for 3 tonight for Jennings. Also a sacrifice bunt in this game. Ball 1.
Red Sox infield playing back at second and short, hopefully for a double play. Jennings runs very well. In tight at the corners at first and third.
Jennings scoops it foul off the end of the bat. 1-1. Well, Delatorre has gone deep into the pitch count in the games that he has worked. 2 out of the 4 outings he's had for the Red Sox have been 50 pitches or more. And he's at 48 right now. So it'll be 3 of 5 as he tries to get out of this mess here in the 9th. One to Desmond Jennings. That's fouled at the plate. 1-2. Jennings this season 1 for 4 with the bases loaded, but a .333 average in his career. To center field, Ellsbury coming in and over. He will make the catch on the sinking liner, trying to score is Joyce, and he will throw off line, and the Rays on a run on top 3-0. Ended up being pretty shallow center field, but they were willing to test the arm of Jacoby Ellsbury, and Joyce comes in with the 3rd Rays run.
Yeah, 2 sacrifice flies in this game for the Rays. James Loney back in the 1st inning. And now this one to Jacoby Ellsbury. A long way for Ellsbury. Off balance as he makes the catch. And no doubt they were going to tag the runner at third base, and he scores with no problem. So big run right there in the top of the 9th.
Brings up Ben Zobrist, who has had a 3-hit night, but he's not going to face Delatorre. As John Farrell out to make the change here after Delatorre gives him 2 2/3 innings. So Breslow will be coming in. As the Rays have picked up a run, it is 3-0 Tampa Bay. Two outs in the inning, and they have runners at first and second. Jose De La Torre ends up going 2 2/3 innings. He is responsible for the 2 men on as he departs after he had retired the first 7 Rays that he had faced. Craig Breslow checks into his 34th game of the year. 26 of 33 appearances have been scoreless for Breslow. 3-2 on the year, the 2.91 earned run average, 19 strikeouts to 9 walks. And opponents hitting at 278 against the veteran left-hander.
And switching Zobrist around to the right side of the plate. Right-handed a 231 hitter, left-handed 283.
Well, it's been a 3-hit night for Ben Zobrist. Singles in the first, third, and fifth innings before flying out to center field in the 7th. Zobrist will take ball 1. So De La Torre goes 2 2/3, gives up a hit. So far he's been charged with 1 run. Walked 2 and struck out 3. Outside for ball 2. Novatone at second, Escobar at first with 2 outs in the Tampa Bay 9th inning. Fouled off, 2-1. It's the longest Matt Moore's had to wait tonight. His team has put together another run for him, though, here in the top half of the inning so far. And a pop-up in a shallow right. Out goes Pedroia. Victorino coming in, and it's Victorino. A little stumble there, but he makes the grab that ends the inning. Rays get a run. Coming up, Iglesias, Ellsbury, and Victorino. It's on to the bottom of the ninth. Some changes defensively for the Rays. Sam Foll checks in right field. And moving from right to left is Matt Joyce. Defensive purposes here in the ninth inning as Matt Moore tries to go for a complete game here tonight. He comes in having thrown 96 pitches through the first 8 innings. 8 innings equaled his career high, done 2 previous times. Last complete game against the Red Sox was a 7-inning effort, a rain-shortened game by Bartolo Colon back on April 23rd. As Iglesias takes ball 1, last 9-inning complete game against the Red Sox going to go back to September of last year when Tampa Bay Rays David Price with the Red Sox 5-2 in a complete game effort. That's a strike, 1-1. He's allowed 2 hits, a single to Napoli in the 2nd, a single for Ortiz in the 7th. Strike 2. Iglesias fired up.
Iglesias didn't like this call. It was a changeup that was supposed to be away, but it comes to the inside part of the plate.
Iglesias protecting the plate, fouls off a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Joel Peralta up in the pen for the Rays. First action we have seen tonight. Mentioned it was unlikely that Joe Madden was going to have Fernando Rodney available tonight. All the work he's had lately and lengthy outing to get the save yesterday. 1-2 is a pop-up right side, sending Zobrist to the outfield grass. First out of the bottom of the 9th. Top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury. 0 for 3 in the game tonight. 2 flyouts and a ground out. Ellsbury takes strike one.
It looks like both Iglesias and Ellsbury taking a strike, trying to do anything to draw a base runner here in the 9th inning.
Victorino would be next here, one down in the inning. In tight, straightens up Ellsbury. In the dirt. Breaking ball skips in for ball two. Chopped right side. Zobrist slides on the outfield grass and gets his throw there in time to get the speedy Ellsbury for the second out of the 9th. Good rangy play from Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, the only question there was Zobrist going to be able to stop that slide in time to be able to get up and throw out Ellsbury. Does pop up, able to spin around and get Jacoby at first base, but that was a long slide right there on a ground ball by Ben Zobrist.
Two down in the 9th inning. It takes something from Shane Victorino for us to continue. Victorino 0 for 3. Here's fly to right, grounded to short, and fly to center. On the corner for strike one. Strike two.
Every pitch still effective for him here late in the game. The fastball, a changeup. Changeup on the inside part of the plate again, very similar to one that he threw Iglesias.
Victorino lines out to third, and that's the ball game. What an impressive outing tonight by Matt Moore. The complete game shutout. 2-hitter tonight by Moore. Red Sox are stymied tonight. They drop this one 3-0 as we send it to Tom Caron.